Yo, what's up, guys? How are y'all doing? Thanks for coming by. What's up, Bearded? How's it going? What's up, Barb? Andrew Cameron, good to see you. Ricky Spanish, what's up, man? Curtis Hill, good to see you. Yeah, you called it. You called it on the stream. I remember that. And Jelly, what's up? All right. So today the price has done absolutely nothing. So that's a little boring here. So let's dive in. So what has happened today? So have we broken momentum? I mean, all the pattern traders out there, right? I mean, everyone talking about falling wedge, right? Attempting to break out of the falling wedge, getting rejected from the spider line, kind of flagging out on the 4-hour. So the level that we bounced from. Hold on, let me get indications real quick. Ooh, we did get a 4-hour buy. That's nice. Okay, so one thing that we can go over today, Bitcoin loves parallel channels, right? So if you take a trend line, you connect the highs, hold control, drag that down, connect the lows, right? See that we're kind of in this parallel channel at the bottom, right? Or you can draw it like this. Right, so you can see that Bitcoin is trying to hold on to this parallel channel. We are at the bottom here. If we take some volume, so this is pretty interesting, right? So we talked about on the 4-hour how it's guilty until proven innocent, right? So Interestingly, for all the volume profile traders out there, right, the 4-hour break of structure is in the exact same area as the value area low, right? So if we are going to put in a low here, and the 4-hour does come up, break structure here, any sort of mitigation, right, we can look to get long, right? Right back up to the top of the channel, right? So again, the level is the same as it was on last night's stream, right? That level is going to be 115,900, right? If we can close a 4-hour candle above 115,900, then we can look to get long to come take all of this liquidity, right? So this is a tool that you can use on Bitcoin, right? So like here, for example, right? If we rewind to like here, right? If we're looking like a parallel channel from the highs, right? Connect the lows. Right? You can kind of predict where the next low is going to be from with like a parallel channel, right? And you can do this in all the ranges that Bitcoin forms. So it's just an interesting tool that I wanted to go over since it was relevant today, right? Since we are bouncing off the bottom of the channel, we did get some buy signals towards the bottom of the channel. So just something to keep in mind. Okay, let's zoom in. All of the macro TA from yesterday still applies, right? We literally really didn't do that much today. So what did we do? So we talked about on the stream yesterday, right, that we had a possible break of structure after a SFP, right? And then this morning we put in another SFP. So clearly bulls are coming in to defend this level. What's the only problem that we see here? The problem that we see here is that there is a bunch of liquidity below us in these lows, right? We also have a spider line that we're projecting from right now, right? So even though this looks really good, unless you caught like the SFP down here, right, then I would just wait for it to prove itself, right? Because if this is going to be an accumulation model, right, mitigation, continuation, right? We can get in on the mitigation after the break of the 4-hour structure. Now, understand that everything we're going to talk about in terms of if this is a low only applies if we break this high, right? Now, you can get long down in here on a retrace, right? But understand we're likely coming for liquidity in this low. If you get long here, understand that you may be catching the bottom for a bigger move, right? But you should be aggressively taking profit on the way up, right? And then once we close above here, then you can look to re-add on a retrace down. All right, so guilty until proven innocent, just like we've been talking about all week long. That still applies. That being said, let's talk about this, right? So if the parallel channel is going to hold, and if we're bouncing from the lows here, there is some hope here, right? So if we look at our indications on it's got to come down, but if we look at our large time frame indications, right? So we got like a 6-hour a green dot, triple bottoms, right? And like an 8-hour clipping, money flow coming back up, RSI is coming back up, 12-hour clipping, right? Anchor wave, trigger wave on the 12-hour. Money flow did just cross into the red, right? So it's kind of mixed signals, right? So that's why we wait for confirmation. That's why we wait for the 4-hour break of structure, because we very much could just be rejecting from here. But that being said, if we look at the bottom here, I mean, you guys know what this looks like, right? We've been seeing failed ones coming down, right? This one seems to be flagging out at the top of the range. If we see that SOS, right, then we know the accumulation model is completed. But right now, again, I would consider this guilty until proven innocent, right? I mean, even if you just look at Market Cipher on the 5-minute, looks like it's rounding off to go down again. So there's a little more hopium than there was yesterday, but it still doesn't look great. Still doesn't look great. I would rather pull this low and get long somewhere on an SFP. I would much rather pull the liquidity in the low down here, reclaim, get long, go. Or go to one of our levels, right, that we went over on the stream yesterday, right? Right, one of our 3 levels, and get long there, right? Did anyone get long on the SFP this morning? Put a 1 in the chat if you got long off the SFP. One-hour SFP into the trigger wave. Into the rejection. All right, let's zoom in on our smaller time frames here. Nice, JV. Did this. Break structure here. Sits a low. Breaking that low. All right, we're losing 15-minute structure right now. Okay, so if we lose 15-minute structure here, what's the RR? Yeah, there we go. So that would be so if this 15-minute candle closes below, wait for the break of structure, right? Wait for the break of structure, we're going to take it short. Because this may just SFP, right? But if this breaks 15-minute structure here and comes back up and retests, right, you can get short with your stop loss above the high and above the spider line, right? Targeting the SFP of the lows, and that's a 3-to-1 risk-reward trade, right? So that's what I see on Bitcoin in the immediate short term. Now, why is this trade appealing, right? Well, 1, because we're in a 4-hour, 6-hour downtrend, right? 2, we just broke out of a pattern, right? And what do these love to do as they're forming, right? Like, let's draw what the pattern was before, right? Breakout, everyone gets excited, dump, right? Fake out, breakout, dump, fake out, breakout, dump, right? So we've gotten everybody to get long off of the break of the pattern. Losing 15-minute structure. What do you always talk about, right? You want to take trades when your entry time frame matches up with your bias midterm time frames. When I say SOS, do I mean a bull flag? No. So if you haven't watched the Wyckoff streams, there's been 2 of them that I've done on the channel. One of them has Wyckoff Model 1 and Model 2 in the title, and the other one I think was a couple days ago. I don't know if Wyckoff title was on that one. But basically the SOS is, so this is like the jump across the creek, right? You retest the creek, you flag out here. The SOS is the actual sign of strength, right? In RIMC, right, the SOS would be your initiation out of the range. So you'll have like an SOS phase, which is initiation out of the range. You'll have a backup phase, generally to this area here, right? And then you'll have the continuation. So, yeah. So, like, you can take a screenshot of this, right? That's what it would look like if we SOS out of here. An SOS just means a sign of strength, right? So it's the opposite of like a sign of weakness out of a distribution model, and it's like when the price action proves itself, right? So we talk about these models all the time. We would expect the creek to hold, right? You don't want to come back down here, especially after you already had 1, 2, 3, and then you broke structure, and then you had your final sweep here. If this model is going to hold, which it does look better than the models that we've been getting, right? It's at least hasn't failed its jump across the creek, right? It's managed to actually jump across the creek. But just keep in mind there's a bunch of liquidity down here at 111.18. So it's just something to be aware of, right? So I would much rather wait, right? I would much rather get the initiation out, maybe break 4-hour structure, and then get in on the mitigation, right? It's the exact same play that we took back here, right? You get your Wyckoff model. You initiate out of the range, breaking your 4-hour structure. Then you come back to mitigate, get giga long, then you get your continuation. Right? It is the exact same idea that we traded back here. We are translating that idea to the right over here. So if you were around in the community for this area here, and maybe you missed this move, right? This is your chance to redeem yourself and catch the next one, right? But what is important? This is important. This is what we're waiting for, right? This has not happened yet. All right? Put a 1 in the chat if that makes sense. I'm not seeing enough 1s here. If there's any confusion, post in the chat because I'm probably not the only person with that question. There we go. Yeah, I'm gonna make you guys put them in there. Not gonna let you guys miss this again, right? Throw a 2 in the chat if you're excited for the possibility of a 6-hour, 4-hour break of structure to get long again. There we go. It's trying to SFP here. We'll keep an eye on it. Yeah, Troll. And I mean, we join the Discord if you're not in the Discord. We go over this Wyckoff stuff quite a bit. It's a proven way to make money in markets over like 100 years. It's good stuff. Once you start being able to identify these, they start to get really easy to identify. Mainly, you're just looking for, does it sweep or does it just retest the order block, distinguish between like Model 1 and Model 2. Then you have to make sure the creek holds, and then you'll flag out SOS, and then you mitigate. Okay, so you guys should all have an alert at 1:15 at 900, basically, right, for that 4-hour break of structure. So let's set that alert now together, right? So all right, so now you have your alert, right? Guilty until proven innocent. Innocent is breaking this. All right. So that's Bitcoin. We'll come back in, I guess it's 3 minutes. All right, while we're waiting on this here, we can look at some altcoins today because we pretty much went over everything Bitcoin related yesterday. So if you missed yesterday's live stream, go watch the first 15 minutes of yesterday's live stream. After this, it'll give you all like the macro levels and what we're waiting for. But on the upside, we're just waiting to see if 115.900 breaks for the downside move. We're rejecting from the golden pocket right now, and we're waiting for a break of structure to get short on the retest to take it to the lows. All right, trading is waiting. We're waiting. Shout out Alexo Crypto. If there's any coins you guys want to look at, throw it in the chat. Yeah, Curtis, we can look at arrow. All right. Looks like Bitcoin may SFP here. That's a good sign for the Wyckoff model. We'll see if we can get it. Let me give you guys a clean screenshot of what we're looking for, right? So this would be if we get a clean like Wyckoff model. All right. This would be what we're looking for. Jump across the creek here. Okay. Cool. Yeah, let's just do this. All right. Take a look at Siri. So, got to bounce off that level. Wasn't able to break structure. Let's see. I would still like to get Sui back here at $3.08. We're still going to leave this long on here. This is the long that I want on Sui, right? It doesn't mean we're necessarily going to get it, but so what can we keep in mind on Sui, right? So we had there's no daily, I think we went over this yesterday. There wasn't any daily structure in there, but there is on the 12-hour, right? So we went over, we got a rejection or a break of structure on the 12-hour, followed by a golden pocket 786 rejection. Came back. Oh, look. So today we came back to this order block. We came back to this order block. We're trying to bounce here. Let's see. So 4-hour structure. So your 4-hour high is still at 3.68. You should still have that alert set from yesterday. We didn't break 2-hour structure yet. It looks like we're getting a 618 rejection on it right now. Yeah, we're getting a 618 golden pocket rejection. Did we break any structure here? Ooh, they really did you dirty with your structure all the way down here. You're not going to have RR to come down. Yeah. Yeah, the R is not really there. Like, Bitcoin's a better short. Yeah. You would have to, like, after this break, you'd have to get internal structure on your 5-minute. But for Sui, let's take a look at some indications here. Let's go to, like, our 4-hour. Man, I will say this. When these 4-hour buys hit uptrends, price normally gets a big move up, so confirmation is, yeah, I would wait for 3.68 to break and get it on mitigation, in my opinion. What did we, is this a range deviation? Ooh, yeah, it was. And that was beautiful. If you got Sui this morning, 340. 12-hour. Yeah, there's not much I can give you on Sui besides we're still waiting for this 3.08 level or a 4-hour break of structure at 3.68. That's the two levels I can give you. In terms of the shorts, you're looking for a break of 350, and then what I'd be looking for is maybe like, okay, break 350 on the 15-minute, get some sort of structural move up, break that structure, use that for your stop loss, and ultimately target that 308 level, but TP1 would be at these lows. That's what I see on the short side, short and long side. You got in at 3.395. Awesome. Did you get it? Why did you get in that trade? I'm interested. Did you get in from the range deviation? Did you get in from Cipher Matrix? That's amazing long. Both Cipher Matrix and the awesome. Great job applying what we teach here. That was amazing. Great trade. Great trade. Okay. Andrew, I know you were talking about Sol at the beginning of the live stream, so let's take a look. I know Sol went right to the level that we were looking for. Okay, so this was the short that we gave on Sunday, right? What was our target for that short? Target was like the 176 level. Why is it 176? Let's get rid of this blue demand box just so it's less confusing here. Right? Why are we targeting this level? We were targeting this level because simply it's unmitigated demand from back here. What happens? Sol hits this level and gets a big bullish reaction. Now, we're also macro bullish on Sol for the reasons that we've been talking about on almost every single stream, right? And that is that it had a daily golden pocket retest, right? Or sorry, not golden pocket retest, golden cross retest, right? It bounced, got our first real retrace, looking for continuation. Now, it looks like it may have broken some structure out of here. Oh, it broke 4-hour structure out of that? Oof. That's beautiful. Oh, yeah, we had the alert from yesterday. Hey, okay. We drew this out yesterday, right? That we were looking for it to come down to the level, bounce up. So far it's done that, right? Mitigate continuation, right? So Sol is ahead of everything else, and that's because I believe it's a little more bullish than everything else. But let's take a look. So let's get indicators out of here for now. Okay, so on the 4-hour, Sol has broke structure. Bullish break of structure out of our daily order block and our daily previous demand. So what are you looking for? You're looking for the retrace, right? You can take like your fibs, that's extra or whatever, right? You're looking for either retest the previous high, right? Golden pocket. I don't think it'll pull the low, but you could look for an SFP as well, so make sure you give your stop loss a little bit of room. But generally speaking, let's see what the RR is. Yeah, at the break of structure level, you already have a 3RR to the highs. If you come down to your golden pocket here, although I would use the decision demand, you have a 4. All the way down to your golden pocket, you have like a 5.5. So if you don't have exposure to Sol, you should get some exposure to Sol at 183. The second level I'd be looking at is 180, and then, the second level I'd be looking at is 182, and the third level I'd be looking at is like your 180 level. And basically, if you get a 4-hour close below these lows, then you're out, right? Otherwise, you're looking to come back at least to this week high, probably to 224. Which then makes it an 8 risk to reward, right? If you miss Sol back here, right, understand that the trade that we are taking here is the exact same logic, right? It's the exact same logic, right? So, understand, if you missed out here, yes, the price is higher, but the exact same thing is happening here. All right, cool. I know nobody asked for Sol, but just wanted to call that out. Great catch, by the way, Cameron. That was. Did you take that? Did you take that long? You said it was 15 minute. Wait. You talking about here? Oh, are you talking about hiking. You must be talking about here. Yeah, because it was on the stream last night. When was that? Yeah, it was like here. Okay, cool. Oh, it was ETH. Yeah, my bad. I don't know why I thought you were talking about Sol. I was talking to Canadian about Sol earlier. That must be what I was talking about. Okay, yeah, so let's look at ETH. Oh, yeah, I see what you're talking about. I see what you were talking about. Yeah. Beautiful, right? SFP, break of structure. Yeah. Yep. Beautiful. Range, initiation, mitigation, continuation. Right? You guys should have RIMC burnt into your brain by now. We go over this every day, all the time. Shout out market structure. And shout out you guys, for real. All right. Great trade. Great trade. All right, we didn't do TA on ETH yet, so let's take a look here. What do we got going on Ethereum? So, Ethereum's ahead too. All right, that gives some viability to Bitcoin. But wait for proof, right? Wait for proof. Wait for proof. These are altcoins, right? Never trust them like the king. All right. So, we got a 4-hour break of structure on ETH. Right now it's kind of just in this like descending channel. I want to see it like start holding above the channel. So it's in a descending channel right now. Where would we expect to pull back? Let's zoom in a little bit. It's projecting off the spider line. For all the people that say spider lines don't work, I mean they do. They work, right? They do. Okay. Let's zoom in structurally. So ETH did have a 15-minute break of structure right now. Had a SFP. Into a break of structure. It looks like it's trying to flip structure again. If it does bullishly flip structure here again, that's a pretty tight stop loss, right? Like if you close above here, what is that? It's like a 1% stop loss. 0.85% stop loss. Where's the next spider line? Sheesh. Just something to keep in mind, you know, if we do bullishly flip again. Because why are we looking at this different than Bitcoin, right? Why are we looking at, and again, it SFP'd, right? This is why you wait for structure to break. You guys know this. You guys are my structure traders, right? We were only looking for this short if it proved to us that it was guilty, right? Right? So we were waiting. We get the SFP, it pumps, right? It can still come down and break this, and then we can take the short, right? But we're waiting to see. Now, why are we looking at this different than Bitcoin? Well, because this has bullish 4-hour market structure now. All right. So, what do we talk about earlier in the stream? Right. You want to take trades whenever your entry time frame is in the same trend as your bias time frame, which right now our bias time frame just broke bullish. Right. So, we're getting conflicting signals. We're going to let price develop. And Bitcoin just SFP'd, right? So, if the 15-minute flips bullish again to line up with the 4-hour, you probably have an okay scalp trade there, right? And you're risking 0.85% for the possibility of like ETH shooting up, right? If Bitcoin's going to hold this parallel channel, which you guys, when you're looking for trades, you should be thinking in terms of risk to reward, right? A 0.85 stop loss is a really cheap stop loss. Go talk to Geeky Girl. She'll tell you, right? Take that loss all day if you lose. Okay. So if you're looking for possible trade on ETH, you can set your alert ETH 15-minute break of structure, bullish, ETH, JPOW firms. Okay, cool. That's really interesting that it had a bearish SFP break of structure. Now it might have a bullish SFP break of structure. Yeah, we're at an interesting point, right? We'll see how it resolves. All right, back to you guys' coins. Let's see. But shout out Andrew Cameron, dude. That was a beautiful, beautiful buy. Are you still in that long? Did you close it? Man. You said you've seen those before? Yeah, I see what you mean. Oof. Nice. Nice catch. All right, I got lost. SCI. Yeah, it's a good SCI. So SCI hit our level. It's still bouncing out of that demand level. SCI looks like it might have had a break out of, so it hasn't broke 4 hour yet. Whew, man, that 4 hour reversal band, man. I don't like that the structural high on the 4 hour is up here, but I think, man, we did it. We talked about SFPing this low into this decision block as a possible reversal idea. Man, don't you guys just love market structure concepts? Like, you can make a plan for price, and you can just watch it play out. I bet you this was because SEI, right, understanding that this was our weak high, right, and this was our strong low. So SEI, unlike other coins, is still under bullish 4 hour market structure, right, because of these SFPs of the low right here. SEI does not need to flip the 4 hour bullish because the 4 hour on SEI is already bullish, right? So that's why it doesn't necessarily matter as much on SEI that we don't have 4 hour structure in here because the 4 hour is already bullish. So since the 4 hour structure is already bullish, that means that we can look to like the 1 hour flipping bullish to get long on SEI, right? Because that's when it aligns with the higher time frame structure. We're still under a golden cross on the 4 hour. Also, we can see that short that we gave on SEI at the beginning of the week, right, hit the target, right? Because why? This was unmitigated, right? How did we know that the price was going to come back for this decision block? Well, because it's unmitigated demand, right? Range, initiate, mitigate, continue. Cool. If we lose this decision block, we're coming to 2780. 2780 is the next level. Don't hold the 886. You're coming to the lows. So we break 1 hour structure here. Yeah, thanks, man. Thanks for the notification. I just moved that. Okay, cool. So we break the 1 hour here. We're flagging out at the top of the range. Yeah, I mean, so your 1 hour structure, your entry time frame now matches up with your 4 hour. Nice, Andrew Cameron. Hell yeah. Yeah, you're basically looking to get long anywhere in a pullback here. SEI is ready, right? Now, keep in mind, if Bitcoin decides to dump down to 108, right, your SEI trade is probably going to fail. But structurally, this makes sense to come back to these unmitigated supply in the highs, right? So now it's just a question of the risk to reward that you get, right? So this is like a 2.5. We get some sort of pullback here, looking at like a 4.47. But Joey, yeah, it's time to start longing your favorite coin again. Good job being patient, right? This is why we told you on Sunday, look for shorts, not longs. Let the short resolve. Wait for bottoming structure. 1, 2, or 3, right? Cool. Awesome. Let's see. Arrow. Yeah. ATF, what's up? Missed you, man. Good to see you. Max, good to see you, man. Yeah, we can look at IP. Okay, Arrow. Let's check out Arrow for Curtis Hill. Curtis, was that you that got me into Arrow here? Or was somebody else talking to me about Arrow? Somebody's talking to me about Arrow here. I bought some on spot here. Okay. So reclaim the lifetime VWAP, right? Awesome, dude. Shout out to you, man. That was a great call. Yeah, so we reclaimed the lifetime VWAP here, and then we went straight up. Now, let's see what we're looking at here. I mean, I think Arrow's just chugging up to the liquidity here. Chugging up to 160. Man, look at that. Doji and Golf on the daily. That looks like, man, it doesn't get easier than that. Look at this. Look at that. It doesn't get easier than that. Simple daily golden pocket trade on Arrow. 121. Arrow's already recovered like crazy. Let's look at our 4 hour. Yeah, you get a 4 hour break of structure out of that. Yeah, it's external structure too. Man, it's looking good. Yeah, I think a dip is for buying on Arrow. So let's see. So you break your 4 hour structure here. You already kind of mitigated that. Let's see. We have any. Did we mitigate this already? So what kind of risk to reward are we looking at? Yeah, I like 128 for Arrow. I like 128 stop below the strong low, targeting TP1 would really be this like golden pocket for me. I ultimately think Arrow's gonna come here. Where's the 0.5 at? Yeah. Flipping the 0.5 to support. Go to the golden pocket. Where can you get more? Yeah, like 128. 128 looks good. Now, where would be amazing to get more? Amazing to get more would be right here. The 886 retest. So this would be like if Bitcoin goes down to like 103 to 108, right? This is great. And why is this great, right? Because this is like a spot play. And you can take, whoa. Yeah, buy it anywhere in here. No, I'm just kidding. Don't do that. Just jokes, folks. So you can get long off the retest of that demand. Give your stop loss some room below the low. And you're getting like a 5 risk to reward to the golden pocket, and you're getting like a 15 risk to reward to the highs, right? So set your alarm here. I'm going to do it too, right? Arrow. Last unmitigated demand to hold daily structure. High RR. So that's the dream. But Curtis, you're looking like 128, 113 for the dream. And target, I would like take your initials out here and create a moon bag, hold it. Cool. All right. ETH and Sol, we already looked at. All right, if there's any other coins you guys want to look at, throw them in chat. If there's anything you guys are struggling with that you guys want to talk about, we can talk about it now. If you want to throw that in chat, any questions you guys have, just want to celebrate a good trade that you took or whatever. We got through everything, so we can take a second. For anybody who's new here, make sure you subscribe, ring the bell, join the free learning Discord at the top of the chat. Come hang out with us. We talk in there every single day. Max, I missed you. Yes. Thank you for reminding me. Thank you for reminding me. Oh, we're almost to 400 subscribers too, and I'm going to do a giveaway at 400 subs. So whatever you guys can do to help out would be great. Ready to have a party with you guys again. Okay. So IP pulled your daily here. Let's look at weekly here. Somewhere with some more history here. No, that's pretty much all the history. Okay, cool. So, all right. So you pull your daily, but as you guys know, this looks like it could just be a possible range deviation. As long as you hold above, like if you have some sort of like spot stop loss, like you're in from down here, you want to protect yourself. This is a good area to have it, like the 514.8 area. Did we pull that? We didn't pull that low. So where are we breaking daily structure? So I do like this for a possible accumulation model. Obviously, big resistance here, right? This is all unmitigated supply. So if you are in a long looking for a TP, yeah, so it makes the most sense, right? You initiate, like even if this is bearish, right? Like let's say you're going to come pull this, right? I would expect the next higher low to be put in here. Or sorry, lower high, right? I would expect the next lower high to be put in here. So if you can flip 4-hour structure, right? Like if this turns out to be like a Model 2, right? You jump across the creek. Maybe retest it. Flag out. SOS. Your mitigation would happen from there. So take profit here because even if it's going to, you know, continue going up, it's going to come back here first. You can get back in. So I would take profit here. And that level is like 638. With the way that the market looks, what are you doing, Bitcoin? Let's get rid of this because people are going to think, people that weren't here in the beginning are going to think I was telling people to go short. Let's get rid of that. So, all right. For everybody that wasn't here at the beginning of the stream, right, what we're looking for is that. Right? Jump across the creek. Okay, cool. So if Bitcoin's going to do this, then just let IP do this and get in on the mitigation. Stop loss below here. Right? Let it break structure, let it prove itself, and get in down here. Or if you are bullish about IP, at least have a stop loss underneath the creek, like down here, right? That's what I see on IP. Oh, is ETH going? Is ETH doing the thing? Let's take a look. I know it's mostly just you family in here, so we can stay a little bit, take a look at some stuff. Ooh, 15-minute trigger wave. Yeah, look at it go. It's trying. It's trying. All right, so we were talking about earlier, the risk to reward here is really good on ETH. Right, because it's only like a 1% stop loss to like come for the liquidity, and like if you just come back to the highs of the range, it's an 11 risk to reward, right? Obviously, take profit aggressively on the way, right? But it's a really good risk to reward. Yeah, here we go. Here we go. All right, guys. Well, I appreciate each and every one of y'all being here for real. I really enjoy hanging out with y'all at the end of the day. It's a great way to end the day. My name's Market Cipher. All of you, trade safe. Join the Discord. Much love. Market Cipher out. Till next time, guys.